The movie starts with the world in chaos. People too dependent on fossil fuels go to war, leading to massive explosions. After the destruction, a group of scientists tries to save what's left of civilization. They create a plan to use renewable energy, but it doesn't fully solve the problems. So, they come up with a new idea. When someone turns 16, they undergo a transformation called the pretty operation. It makes them look perfect and feel happy. Those who don't get the operation are called uglies. Tally, the main character, looks at herself in the mirror and tells it to make her pretty. Before she can do anything else, her friend Paris calls. She sneaks out to see him without anyone noticing. Using their high-tech glasses, they view a casino night scene. Tally is amazed. Paris tells her she only has to wait 3 more months to become pretty. But Tally is impatient. Paris turns 16 the next day. They talk about their friendship and matching scars on their hands. Before leaving, Tally promises to meet Paris at the bridge on September 9th. The next day, Tally and Paris attend a ceremony. Some kids whisper about a place called The Smoke, led by a guy named David. This community disagrees with the pretty system. During the event, District Governor Dr. Naya Cable gives a speech to the new 16-year-olds. She explains the transformation process. When Paris is called to the stage, Tally hugs him and reminds him of their bridge meeting. Later, Tally has a flashback of when they were kids and made a scar together to promise lifelong friendship. Tally gives a school presentation about a flower called the white tiger orchid. She says it can decorate the countryside and power cities. In the following days, Tally feels bored and lonely. One day, she hacks her dorm window and escapes. She heads to the bridge, hoping Paris will be there. When he doesn't show up, she sneaks into Pretty City during a big party. She wears a mask to blend in. Surrounded by beautiful people, she finds Paris. But when she takes off her mask, he doesn't recognize her at first. He tells her everything has changed and she'll be pretty soon too. Tally is confused by his new attitude. She sees that his hand scar is gone. When she asks, he says he doesn't want it anymore. Suddenly, Tally is identified as not pretty. She quickly puts on a bungee jacket and jumps off a building to escape. She lands safely and runs back to the bridge. The drone spots Tally, but she's saved by Shay. They escape together using a hoverboard. Later, they sneak into the kitchen and grab food without being seen. That night, they discover they share the same birthday, meaning they'll have their surgery on the same day. This makes them even more excited. The next day, Shay brings 2 hoverboards, and they skip class. Shay starts teaching Tally how to ride, but Tally struggles at first and the lesson ends early. Later, Shay gives her a book about the Smoke, a secret community. Tally gets upset when she finds out Shay told others that Tally jumped from Garbo Tower in Pretty Town. Tally worries she'll get in trouble and her surgery will be delayed. But Shay tells her not to worry, they'll both be made pretty eventually. Shay keeps training Tally on the hoverboard. Tally improves and soon rides in a high-tech playground made for hoverboarding. With 1 day left before the surgery, Shay suggests they skip it. Tally refuses. Shay says she plans to leave for the Smoke, but Tally insists it doesn't exist anymore. Shay tells her to meet at the Greenbelt in 2 hours if she changes her mind, then leaves. Later, Tally and Shay place their rings on a tree branch. Even though she's unsure, Tally follows Shay to a river that leads to another city. They arrive at an old, broken building. Shay explains she won't get the surgery and says the Smoke is a better place where people don't judge by looks. She says she met someone named David from the Smoke. Tally still isn't convinced. She says she doesn't want freedom, she just wants to be pretty. Shay gives her a note with directions in case she changes her mind. Tally asks her to stay, but Shay leaves after hugging her goodbye. The next day, Tally is ready for her surgery. But after the other students get theirs, she is left behind. A guard takes her to see Governor Dr. Cable. Dr. Cable apologizes for delaying Tally's surgery and asks her to sit down. She tells Tally that Shay is missing and needs to be found. Tally says maybe Shay is just sick, but Cable insists Shay is in danger and brainwashed by David. She pressures Tally to tell her where Shay went, even promising to schedule her surgery immediately. But Tally refuses and says she doesn't know anything. Cable then says Tally will remain in the dorm until she cooperates. Unexpectedly, Paris visits Tally in her room. She's excited and tells him about Shay. Paris encourages her to tell Dr. Cable about Shay, reminding her of their promise to become pretty together. Tally is hesitant because she promised Shay she wouldn't tell, but Paris convinces her that helping Shay isn't breaking the promise, it's protecting her. Eventually, Tally agrees and tells Dr. Cable everything. Cable tells Tally that David, a member of the smoke community, is building a weapon to destroy their society. She asks Tally to find the smoke before David can hurt Shay. Cable gives her a necklace that secretly works as a tracker, asking her to activate it once she locates the smoke. Tally begins her journey alone, riding a hoverboard and climbing mountains. Along the way, she rests in a field of white tiger orchids. Meanwhile, Paris visits Cable again. She thanks him for convincing Tally. When asked how he feels about her, Paris says that Tally still reminds him of who he used to be. Cable then offers him another surgery, promising to make him special. Paris agrees and goes through with it. Back in the wilderness, Tally wakes up surrounded by fire. A man rescues her. It's David. He scans her for a tracking device and finds one on her hoverboard. Tally says she didn't know about it, and David assures her that trackers on hoverboards are normal. But he doesn't realize her necklace is also a tracker, since it goes undetected. Later, Cable is informed that they lost the hoverboard signal. She sends 2 special agents to search within a 10-kilometer area. Tally asks David if they've reached the smoke. He says new people can't enter right away, they have to be vetted. Eventually, she reunites with Shay, and the two hug happily. That night, Shay notices Tally's necklace and asks if someone gave it to her. Tally says Paris gave it to her as a symbol so he'll recognize her after the surgery. Shay seems confused and questions why Tally is still close to Paris. Tally explains she didn't expect Shay to be so happy and admits she's worried about her living in the smoke. Shay, now frustrated, tells Tally to leave if she still wants to be pretty. But Tally asks for more time to understand what the smoke is really about. Shay reminds her that the smoke is a place where people can be themselves and find purpose. The next day, Tally hears that David's team plans to burn the orchid field. When she asks why, David explains that the white tiger orchids are harmful. They take all nutrients from the soil and destroy the land. Tally disagrees, saying the flowers were meant to replace fossil fuels used by the old rusty civilization. David tells her this was all part of Cable's plan, to control people by keeping them dependent on the city. The team sets the flowers on fire. Suddenly, Croy notices movement near the flames. David lowers the helicopter, but during the chaos, Shay accidentally falls. Tally quickly uses a long rope to climb down and help Shay up. Just then, 2 specials from the pretty city try to attack them, but Tally and Shay are pulled up by the helicopter in time. Later, Croy accuses Tally of being the reason they were tracked. He suspects she led the specials to them. But Shay defends Tally, and David backs her up too, saying Tally risked her life to save Shay. He rejects Croy's accusation. That night, while everyone sleeps, Tally wakes up and remembers her conversation with Dr. Cable. She then spots David swimming nearby. She quietly watches him for a moment before going back to bed. The next day, the team finally reaches the smoke. Tally sees how people grow their own food and everyone young and old helps with daily tasks. She learns that the community stores their supplies inside a cave. Later, Tally finds a door that leads downstairs, but before she can explore, Croy appears. Surprised, she quickly says she was just looking for water. He points her to it but tells her to stay out of that room, saying it's none of her business. With Shay's encouragement, Tally helps David crack open a metal casing, and she does it successfully. That evening, everyone gathers to eat. Tally tastes the spicy food and enjoys the moment. David interrupts the gathering with serious news. Scouts were spotted at the West Pass last night, closer than ever before. He reassures everyone that they were stopped but warns that the community must stay strong to protect the smoke. The next day, David teaches Tally how to use a crossbow. At first, she misses, but with practice, she finally hits the target. They talk afterward. David says he was raised by his family in the smoke. Tally says it's been a long time since she's seen hers, but she hopes to reconnect with them after her surgery. David then gives her a glove as a gift. Tally is touched and thanks him. Later, Croy brings in an injured member of the smoke. She warns that the new scouts are stronger and more dangerous. Tally quickly helps treat her wounds. While Tally and Shay are fetching water from the river, Tally tells Shay about the glove David gave her. Shay explains that in the smoke, gifts carry deep meaning. It's a sign that David really likes her. Shay then asks Tally if she plans to stay in the smoke or leave, pressuring her to make a decision soon. While walking with David, Tally confesses what Dr. Cable told her, that he supposedly has a weapon powerful enough to destroy the city. David takes her to meet his parents, AZ and Maddie, in their home. He explains Tally's concerns to them. Inside, the family is kind and welcoming. David tells them he trusts Tally. Maddie explains that she used to be a doctor working at the Morphological Standards Department with access to the medical database. AZ adds that he helped improve the surgery to make it safer. Tally is confused. AZ then reveals something shocking. He witnessed several deaths caused by the pretty surgery each year. Tally is surprised, saying she never knew people could die from it. AZ explains how the surgery dulls the brain, leading to long-term damage. Maddie adds that Dr. Cable ordered them to stop their research and took everything they had discovered. That's when they realized the lesion in the brain caused by the surgery is intentional. Tally questions why Cable would want that. Maddie and AZ explain that it's all about control. Cable wants to keep society in check. That's why they left and helped form the Smoke, to give people freedom. Tally asks if they found a cure for the lesion. Maddie says they're close, but they still need one synthetic component. Later, Tally removes the tracking necklace and burns it. She confesses the truth to David, that she didn't plan to join the Smoke at first. But David forgives her and asks what she wants now. Tally admits she was wrong, and David tells her that her courage and honesty make her truly beautiful. Then, he kisses her. The next morning, the Specials arrive with drones. The Smoke community is caught off guard, and the Specials overpower them. David and Tally hide nearby, watching in horror. The Specials bring AZ and Maddie before Cable. Maddie tells Cable that it's time to let people make their own choices. Cable ignores her and demands to know where David is. AZ and Maddie refuse to cooperate. Then, without warning, Paris steps forward and kills AZ. Tally and David run out, devastated. Tally confronts Cable, saying she never agreed to anyone getting hurt. Shay, angry and betrayed, whispers that she trusted Tally. The community begins whispering too, believing Tally led the Specials to them. Cable announces that everyone will now undergo pretty surgery, causing panic. Quietly, Maddie slips a vial of the cure into David's pocket. Tally runs to the door, locks it, and pours gasoline on the floor. She sets it on fire and manages to shoot one of the Specials with a crossbow. Paris tries to stop her, but Cable holds him back, ordering him to let her go. David uses the chaos to escape, and Cable commands the others to destroy the Smoke. Afterward, Tally approaches David. Furious and heartbroken, he holds a knife to her neck. Tally begs him to listen, saying she destroyed the pendant and didn't know it was a tracker. She tells him she truly fell in love with the Smoke and never meant for this to happen. She apologizes and promises to help him rescue his mother. Tally meets a group of students who've heard the Smoke was destroyed. She introduces them to David and asks for their help. She tells them to gather other kids, create a distraction, and write "The Smoke Lives" in the sky. They agree. Tally and David sneak into the city office. A guard spots them, and David knocks him out, but the alarm goes off. They free some Smokies, but Tally is crushed to learn Shay has already had the surgery. At the lab, Shay is now a pretty. Tally blames herself. Cable and Paris arrive and start the surgery machine on Tally and David, but Croy interrupts with a helicopter and a flamethrower, halting the procedure. They escape with Shay, but Paris blocks them. Tally reminds him of their old bond and holds his hand. David attacks, remembering Paris killed his father. Tally uses her hoverboard to knock Paris off the building into a waterfall, and they flee. Later, Maddie reveals she found the cure. Shay refuses it. She doesn't want to go back. Maddie won't risk testing it on her. Tally volunteers instead, promising she won't lose who she is. In the end, Cable takes Tally and Shay. Tally asks to be made pretty. She wakes up in a luxury home, transformed, but with her old scars still on her hand.